The night my daughter opened that box, something inside me didn't just break. It finally woke up. I remember the exact sound the cardboard made when I set it down on the kitchen table, soft and hollow, like it carried something fragile or important. It had arrived on a Thursday afternoon, slightly crushed at one corner, with my daughter's name written across the label in my mother's careful, slanted handwriting, the kind she only uses when she wants something to look thoughtful, even when it isn't. At the time, I didn't think twice about it. Late birthday gift, no big deal. Life was already loud and messy, cereal bowls in the sink, crayons scattered across the counter, and my daughter Lily humming to herself as she colored a crooked unicorn. Lily loved mail in a way only kids can. To her, every package felt like magic, like the universe had picked her specifically for something special. She ran over in mismatched socks, toothpaste still faintly visible on her chin, eyes bright with excitement. I told her to go ahead and open it, and she didn't hesitate. She peeled back the tape, tore into the box, and carefully lifted out layers of white tissue paper folded with almost obsessive neatness. That alone should have told me something, but I wasn't looking for signs yet. When she finally pulled the dress out, her face lit up instantly. It was pink, soft, delicate, with tiny embroidered stars near the hem that shimmered when the light hit them just right. It looked like something out of a storybook, the kind of dress a little girl would wear to feel like she belonged in a fairy tale. My husband glanced up from his laptop and gave a small smile, calling it fancy, while I made some offhand comment about her outgrowing it in a month. But Lily didn't care about practicality. She held it up like it was the best thing she had ever seen. She slipped it over her clothes and spun in a slow circle, the fabric floating gently around her. For a brief moment, I almost smiled. There was something undeniably sweet about it. The way she admired herself. The way she believed in the magic of something as simple as a dress. But then she stopped. Not gradually, not playfully, just stopped like someone had pressed pause on her. She stared down at the front of the dress, her eyebrows pulling together in confusion. Her voice, when she spoke, was small and uncertain as she asked me what this was. I walked over, already feeling something shift in my chest, something I couldn't yet name. She turned the dress slightly so I could see what she was looking at, and that was the moment everything inside me began to unravel. There, stitched neatly in white cursive across the chest, was a name that did not belong to my daughter, little Sophie. My hands started shaking before my mind fully caught up with what I was seeing. Lily looked up at me, searching my face for answers I couldn't give her. My husband leaned closer, squinting at the embroidery, suggesting maybe it was a mistake. Maybe someone had mixed up the order. Lily asked if they thought she was someone else, and then she asked the question that hit harder than anything else. Who is Sophie? I didn't answer. Not because I didn't know, but because I knew too well. That name didn't belong in my house. It never had. It carried too much weight, too many memories I had spent years trying to bury under routine, responsibility, and silence. Lily tried to brush it off, saying she didn't mind, that the dress was still pretty, that she could wear it anyway. But I stopped her before she could say anything else. I told her she wasn't wearing it, and my voice didn't leave room for discussion. I took the dress from her hands, not harshly, but with a kind of firmness that even I didn't fully understand in that moment. Then I walked into the bedroom and closed the door behind me. I sat on the edge of the bed, the dress still in my lap, my hands trembling so badly the fabric moved with them. It wasn't the exact same dress, but it might as well have been. Same shade of pink, same delicate collar, same tiny stars stitched along the bottom. I had seen it before, not recently, not even in the last decade. But my body recognized it before my mind allowed itself to. It felt like holding a memory that had been waiting patiently to return. And sitting there in that quiet room, one thought came through clearer than anything else. This wasn't for Lily. It was never about her. It was about them. Because this wasn't the first time a pink dress had meant more than it should. I was 6 years old the first time I saw it. It was my birthday, or at least that was what the calendar said. The house was full of people, relatives, neighbors, voices blending together into something that should have felt warm but didn't. I remember standing near the couch holding a juice box, watching everything unfold around me like I was a guest at someone else's party. Because the celebration wasn't really for me, it was for my sister Sophie. She was older than me by 2 years, but it always felt like a lifetime. That day, she had just been accepted into some local dance program, with a name that sounded big and impressive. Everyone was talking about it like it was the most important thing that had ever happened in our family. And then she walked out wearing that dress. Pink, soft, covered in tiny stars, spinning like she belonged in the center of everything. People clapped. Cameras flashed. My mother smiled like she had achieved something extraordinary. I remember walking up to her, tugging lightly at her sleeve, and reminding her that it was my birthday. She didn't even look at me when she told me not to make it about myself. That was the moment I understood something I wouldn't fully put into words until years later. I was never going to be the center of anything in that house. Sophie wasn't cruel, not in the way people usually mean. She didn't push me down or call me names. She just existed in a way that pulled all the attention toward her without trying. Teachers loved her. Strangers noticed her. She had this natural gravity, and the rest of us just learned to orbit around it. I spent years trying to figure out how to be like her. I copied the way she spoke, the way she stood, even the way she laughed. I thought maybe there was a pattern, something I could learn if I tried hard enough. But no matter what I did, I was always just a little behind, a little less, a little invisible. As we got older, nothing really changed. Sophie moved through life effortlessly, drifting between jobs, cities, relationships, always landing somewhere new, just long enough to leave an impression. Then one day, she announced she was starting a business, not just a store, but a brand. She spoke about it with such confidence, using words that sounded important and convincing, showing us designs and plans and what looked like real progress. She said she just needed support to get started. At first, it was small amounts, a few hundred here, a little more there. She framed it as an investment, promised returns, painted a picture of something successful and growing. My parents believed her without hesitation, and I did too, even though part of me should have known better. Because no matter how much time passed, some part of me still wanted to believe in her. The requests got bigger. The promises got bolder. And we kept giving. Until one day, she stopped answering. At first, we thought something had gone wrong. An emergency, a delay, something temporary. But then the silence stretched longer, and the truth started to surface piece by piece. There was no business. No orders, no suppliers, just a well-built illusion. She had taken everything and disappeared. And it didn't stop there. I started getting calls about accounts I never opened, debts I never created. She had used my name, my information, building a financial mess that I was left to clean up. The banks didn't care about explanations. The system didn't care about family betrayal. All it saw was my name attached to numbers that needed to be paid. So I paid. I worked longer hours. I cut back on everything. I helped my parents when they struggled, covering their bills, sending money every month. I thought we were all dealing with the same loss, the same lesson. But I was wrong. Because over time, the comparisons started again. Little comments about how Lily reminded them of Sophie. Small gifts that echoed old patterns. And then came the dress. Sitting there on my bed, holding it, I finally understood what I had refused to see for years. They weren't just remembering Sophie. They were trying to replace her. That realization settled into me with a kind of calm I had never felt before. It wasn't loud or dramatic. It was quiet, steady, final. I reached for my phone, opened my banking apps, and began canceling everything. Transfers, payments, support I had been providing for years. One by one, I removed myself from obligations that had never truly been mine to carry. The next morning, I packed the dress into a simple paper bag and drove to their house. I didn't knock. I didn't ring the bell. I left it on the porch with a note and walked away. The calls started not long after. Voicemails filled with confusion, then anger, then guilt. They said I was being cruel. They said it wasn't their fault. They said family doesn't abandon each other. But for the first time in my life, I didn't bend. I didn't explain. I didn't fix anything. When Sophie eventually called, her voice was exactly the same as I remembered. Calm, controlled, distant. She didn't apologize. She didn't acknowledge what she had done. She just talked about how our parents needed help, how things were difficult, how I had always been the stable one. And that was the moment something inside me finally settled into place. I realized I had spent my entire life being the one who stayed, the one who fixed things, the one who carried weight that was never meant for me. So I chose differently. It has been over a year since I last spoke to any of them. I've heard through others that Sophie came back, that my parents are struggling, that things are not easy. But for the first time, that responsibility doesn't belong to me. Now it is just us. Me, my husband, and Lily. Our home is quieter in the best way. Sundays are for pancakes and music. There are no comparisons, no shadows from the past hanging over us. Lily is just Lily, not a reflection of someone else. And me, I am no longer the one who stayed. I am finally the one who chose to leave.